welcome to Comic Book Wednesdays, a weekly series where we talk about comic books. We are your hosts. I'm Ian.
Howdy, I'm Al.
Hey, I'm Shane.
If you enjoy our content, please feel free to subscribe, like, comment. This week we are reading issues of New Avengers 4 through 6 by Jonathan Hickman, and again we are making our way closer and closer to Secret Wars. Alright,
Dun,
guys.
dun, dun.
Thoughts? Comments? Concerns?
Concerns. Lots of concerns.
Speak. Let's hear 'em.
Yeah.
Um, First, a little bit of a funny thing as we get into this. I like how with each like world-ending disaster, Doctor Strange's response is, "Let me go break open some of them secret forbidden things and just put my hands all over that, and we'll be all right."
He's got
Yeah,
one
he's a
for
bit of a
each.
character, that one. One of my favorite things that I saw in the issues this week was we got to see Black Bolt really do something for the first time in these 3 episodes, and it was cool to see him, full out blast that character, and to see how strong that character actually is because it didn't even really. I mean, it knocked him down and they caged him, but from my knowledge, Black Bolt's supposed to obliterate worlds with his speech. So
Yeah.
it was cool to see how powerful this guy is, and from the effect of Black Bolt's scream. I thought that was a very cool start off to. I think that was the second comic of the
We're
line.
talking about him fighting that alternate Herald of Galactus, right?
Yes.
Did they name that character? I don't even think they did.
I don't remember.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because I was reading a comic earlier in the year called Cosmic Ghost Rider, and in Cosmic Ghost Rider, Thanos uses Black Bolt to destroy Celestials, like multiple, like a whole host of them. Black Bolt like screams and just like obliterates them all.
So I'm wondering, is his scream not as powerful because that Harold was from a different dimension, or is he just that powerful?
Ooh,
I think
that
maybe
is a
he
good
was
point.
holding back.
Okay. See, I didn't think he had control like that. Like, I thought it was you know, once he opens his mouth, it's all there. Like unlike Cyclops, who like can control his beam with his visor. You know what I mean?
No, I think he has a level of control because like if he whispers, like it's not as powerful. Like it's not like he's like destroying planets, if he whispers. So there's a range of things that he can do. Um, yeah, no. So what did you guys think? I mean, like I think there's a lot of moral implications in these books that we have to kind of try to consider. Um, the the Illuminati still haven't had to actually get their hands dirty yet, at least in my opinion. They've kind of always just kind of lucked out. Somebody else destroyed the planet for them, or
Right.
there was no life there for them to really destroy. Um, where do you see things going from here? I mean, if they eventually they're going to have to destroy the planet in order to protect Earth. Um, do you think that is going to be an easy thing for them to do? What do you think the moral implications for that are going to be?
I actually have a bit of a thought on that. For some of them, I honestly think it's not going to be as hard as. I think them showing the emotion of how hard it is going to be just that, more for show. Like, one of the lines that I saved from this first issue was Strange talking to Wong, and he says, "I do not fear the cost, my friend. Fear that I have reason to open it. Fear what fuels my urgency." His immediate thought was just, all right, I'm going to go open this, evil tome, and we're just going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for him, and I get the same feeling from Tony, that it's not so much about the moral cost, it's just here's logically what we have to do, we're going to do it, end of discussion.
I agree with that, to the point up to where you say Tony, because I agree Strange has a sense of, this is all or nothing kind of thing, but I feel like Tony has a bit of a conscience, more, or maybe not conscious, but a feeling of right or wrong, where Strange doesn't really have that separation. You know what I mean?
I can understand that, and like I do see where Tony like walks that line a little bit, and I feel like that's Cap rubbing off on him.
Right. Yeah, like in I think it was the third episode of New Avengers, when he's like, "Why do you always have to be like this?" You know what I mean? Like that kind of, in my mind, shows that he has some kind of, this isn't right, but this is what we have to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Ian, your thought?
Yeah, I think Tony has more of a conscience than Strange does. But I feel like, and it's funny thinking that, like, I think Strange might be a little bit more of an arrogant character um, than Tony is, but I think that comes with his power, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd agree with that.
though, like, the arrogance in this room is, I mean, collectively is incredible. If it could kill, it would. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got Mr. Fantastic. He's as smart as they come, and he's not ignorant to that. You know what I mean? He's very
Yeah.
aware of how smart he is.
Well, and like the fact that him and Black Panther are kind of arguing about the logistics of it and what the effects are going to be, kind of shows that, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're building this device that, uh, I feel like he's not all in with. You know what I mean?
I think part of that is, like, they don't really understand what it does. They have an idea of how it works. They reversed engineered the trigger mechanism, and they kind of have it going, and then they're like, don't really know what this is. So then they had to go and use the Black Swan in order to get a better idea of what it is. And the more I see her character, the more I see, like, I think she's more of a tragic character than anything. Like, you learn a little bit of her backstory and things like that, and she tries to be this hard ass at first, and really there's a lot of pain there, you know.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
I really enjoyed learning about her backstory in the second issue because it really kind of reaffirmed this eternal view that she has. Because, like, looking at and you guys don't mind if I jump to that for a second?
No, do
Huh?
you think?
So, looking at the structures of where she was and, like, the ziggurats and, like, these different, like, buildings and things like that, it really gets a sense of, like, oh, the art is trying to show how old she is and it's succeeding. So it really lends to this mentality that she has of everything's going to die eventually. And then the more she opens up to the like group, I wouldn't say it's fully opening up. I think she's just knowing how to stroke their ego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it almost feels as if she's like, okay, well, you can't stop this, but if you can, I want to watch. Is kind of what I'm getting from her.
She's almost testing them. Like, I want
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
how far you can go, and the testing might even turn to toying because there is no hope. I mean, the the hubris here to try to stop the natural order of something is incredible. And in fact, the more they try to stop it and interfere with the natural dying of the universe, they speed it up. Literally doing what they're doing speeds up the death of the universe. So even in their greatest efforts, it's failing. I mean, no matter what they do, and she's pushing them along.
That's
It,
true.
so I get that sense of toying. Like I don't I don't trust her at all. Um, I think she's teaching them, but I also think that like it doesn't matter what they do anyway. So it's like she's just kind of like there for the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and back to what you were saying about like ego, the herald even says like I know many things and clearly you do not. Like it's as if the both of them combined are like we figured you guys out the moment we saw you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, we also don't know like how many alternate realities these people have seen and dealt with. They've probably even seen multiple versions of these characters. You know.
Well, there is a bit of like crazy symbolism that I wanted to talk about with the second issue, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There's a scene where um, they're at the City of the Dead, and T'Challa is standing, and he's talking to Black Swan, and she is sitting posed as a queen under the statue of Bast, with everyone looking at her. And it was right after, I believe it was right after, like she was explaining like kind of her backstory, and they were like, okay, well, we're not so unhumble to say like we need your help. And just the way that they showed the power dynamic shift of their group with 3 members standing, like sorry, 4 members standing, but 3 of them sitting while she's posed like a queen. I just found that to be fascinating.
I mean, totally done on purpose too. Good pickup there, Shane.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking at that image now. It is quite powerful. And the 3 that are standing, you have Reed, Namor, and T'Challa. I mean, T'Challa's standing because he's the king. Well, actually, Doctor Strange is standing too. I'm trying to maybe figure out like, is there a reason maybe why some are standing, some are not? But then again, like I don't know, like there's so much arrogance in this room, it doesn't even matter.
I do like how
least
she referenced Beast and talks directly to him, about him being a defining point across many of the universes, and his uh, effect on the whole thing, like she kind of looks to him like he's going to either turn the tide or it's not so necessarily going to fail because of him, but has that effect. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I feel like he's the least arrogant one there, because Charles essentially appointed him this position. And a lot of what we've seen him do is reactionary. I mean, not that he can't take action, but it almost as if he's trying to approach this the way Charles would have approached it, while at the same time he's not Professor X. So he's doing some of these things, and there's even been comments of like, oh, that's not how so and so would have done it, and he just kind of like shrugs it off. Like he's still trying to find his role.
Yeah. I mean, very new to the group too, so it's like but let's I want to shift a little bit to the third issue where we see Latveria and Doom, and we learn about another type of incursion, one with blue skies rather than red, and Black Swan is terrified almost of these, and she calls these uh, beings coming from the planet map makers. What did you guys take of those? How do you think of them?
Shane, you want to take this one?
Sure. So when I think of mapmaker and like I think of cartography. So not unlike someone who's terraforming a planet, but they're almost brazing a path of least resistance or forming this least resistance. And so she's terrified of them, like this being, that traversed universes, has insane power, looks at these things and essentially says, oh no, fuck that. It really, really surprised me.
Like,
So are the map makers, in a sense, do they work for this being that is causing the incursions, or is that a separate entity altogether?
so we don't know who's causing the incursions yet. I mean,
Right.
Black Swan references like a mother-like deity. However, I don't think Black Swan completely knows, because I feel like we're going to get a twist with that. These map makers, from what I can tell, is that they they take the energy from the planet, suck the Earth dry of energy, and then they use that energy to detonate to save their universe. And I don't know exactly why. And I don't know if it was mentioned in the book. And I think it might just be something we haven't learned yet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So another question I have is Galactus a celestial, or is he just a super being? Because in the, what was it, the second issue, we got a glimpse of Galactus eating that universe, or that
Earth.
Earth, yeah.
Um, my understanding about Galactus is he is a celestial. He's a cosmic being, um, but he's not in the same sense that we know of the celestial hosts with those beings we've seen in the latest movies, like in the Eternals and Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, it's not the same type of celestial. Galactus is a being that survived the death of his universe. So, like, don't think of it as a multiverse. Think he comes from the multiverse before this one. So, at the end of his time, he finds a way to survive, and the person that's left gains cosmic awareness and becomes Galactus. I don't know the full story of how it happens. I just know that's the general consensus, like
Gotcha.
how he did it. What else do you got, guys? Anything else on these three that you want to talk about?
Uh, no, I think that pretty much sums these three episodes up. Uh,
Let me
I'd like to talk a minute about what everybody's thoughts on the latest episode of She-Hulk is, if anybody's up for that. I know it's not on the same basis as the comics, but it's interesting to get points of views from that as well.
So I'll start. I thought that as far as like, so what we're promised was the show is a comedic lawyer show, and I thought that this show is doing that. It's hitting that mark. I mean, she breaks the fourth wall just like she does in the comics. I really enjoy that. I like the supporting cast, especially the one who plays her male counterpart, the other attorney that
Yeah.
like was representing the d bag guy. I forget his name. Um, I'm into that guy. I like that character. I like She-Hulk. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't a huge fan of the post credit scene from this week. I'm not about the whole twerking thing. Like, some people are into it. I'm not gonna put it down, but like, it's just not me.
Yeah. I do
But
feel like this episode fell a little flat compared to the other two episodes that we've gotten so far. I just felt like the depth of the episode was a little lame. Like it wasn't. I'm not even sure how I want to present that, but like it. I like the fact that we finally got to see a little bit of action that was going on. Like what is possibly going to be coming towards her towards the end of the episode. Like I thought the last 5 minutes of the episode were really like the best part of the episode, which in the first the first two episodes, I really enjoyed the show, and this one was just kind of like it was filling space, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know you have to have some filler episodes. I feel like the writing kind of failed in this one.
So I want to counter you real quick. So this show to me is supposed to be a lawyer comedy. So like there are going to be episodes where the whole episode is in the courtroom, which is what we got from this episode.
Yeah.
I don't think the writing failed on this one. I think this is just part of the show you might not be interested in, but this is very much what this show is probably going to be. Now, if we get like 4 more episodes down the line and they don't have another courtroom episode, then I will retract my statement. And I'm going to say you're right. It's filler. But I just don't think this is meant to be filler. I think this is what the show is supposed to be. It's just supposed to be comedy in a courtroom for the most
That's
part.
fair.
I did find it really kind of, and again, I don't know much about the character, but with Blonsky, I believe is his name,
Mm-hmm.
and having his like soulmates or whatever, and then being pardoned, like that just surprised me. Is that something that has happened before, where he just kind of was like, I'm done with this?
I have no clue, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't think he's really done with it either. Like, there's something going to be happening there. Like, Blonsky's probably going to come back and be part of the Thunderbolts.
I can see that.
Well, one of the things that I find really, really interesting is like Bruce has been talking a lot about, oh well, this is a part of you. You have to just learn to accept it. Blah blah blah. And the first thing that these guys say is, oh well, you can be free so long as you promise to never do that again. It just shows, and I think they did this. I know they did this on purpose, but it shows how little of an understanding they have as to like these types of abilities.
Right. I agree with that. And I think that's part of the reason why the superhero law division is becoming formed, because there are issues like this and it's becoming more widespread and they have to figure it out. I hope they bring up the Sokovia Accords in this show. I think that'd be really neat. I think that needs
Yeah, that would be
That
nice
would be
tie-in.
interesting.
I'm looking forward to the rest of the show. We'll see where it goes from there. We know Daredevil's coming back at one point. He was in the trailer, so like hopefully soon. I mean, we got 9 episodes, so like we'll see. But
Oh, is it 9 episodes? I thought it was only 6 as well. But
no,
that's awesome.
30-minute 9 episodes. Okay. Well, do you have anything else about the show, or can we wrap up?
I'm good to go.
How about you?
Yeah,
Shane?
no, overall, I'm enjoying it. I understand like the points of criticism. For me, it's what it set out to do of having here's a slice of life of things that we don't get to see, especially with how the Asgardian like shape-shifting light elf. It just pure comedy of like you know what? Yeah, when you start integrating these people, that I'm sure that's bound to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. All right, so next week we are shifting back to the Avengers book. We are going to read Avengers 7, 8, and 9, and that'll get us another week closer to Secret Wars. So I want to thank everybody for listening. Please again subscribe, like, comment. Again, I'm Ian,
I'm Al.
I'm Shane.
and this was
Adios.
Comic Book Wednesdays. Thank you.
Woo.